Thank you very much, Heather. Well, today Arise News Arts and Culture celebrates one of the funkiest men on the planet. George Clinton is his name, his style is inimitable, and his music still resonates today. We Give Up the Funk was just one of his many hits, created as the leader and trailblazer of Parliament and Funkadelic in a career that spans over 50 years. Now today we celebrate 40 years since Parliament released the era-defining album Chocolate City. So, I'm lucky to say that the man himself, George Clinton, joins me in the studio, along with independent creative director John Daniel. And we're going to get to why you're here in a moment. But first of all, I'd like to ask you, what is it like looking back on, I mean, just 40 years since that album alone was released?
Wow, it's been quite a journey. It's quite a journey, and it's still going on. And we'd have been to outer space 2 or 3 times and back.
I'm really curious as to where the whole idea for space and exploration of your style came from, because it's so iconic and so incredible, even now.
Well, you know, in the 60s, you got inspiration from a lot of things. You know, the Beatles with their thing, the Who with the Walls, and, you know, Tommy, the rock opera, made me want to do a funk opera.
Yeah.
All of that theater, all that, I call it Broadway type of theater music, made me want to create theater music, and I'll play, and that's what the mothership was about. Chocolate City started it off.
Yeah.
You know,
I was going to say, I love the concept behind Chocolate City, but before we go any further, we do have to do a little unveiling, because of course it's the 40th anniversary, and the reason John's here is because we've designed, or he has rather, designed a special box set, and I believe you've only seen some of the designs, you haven't actually seen the physical thing, so we're going to get that brought in now. Thank you very much. So you can actually have a look at this. John, if you want to sort of talk us through it as we go as well.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah. Well, George, this is yours. Yeah. This is the mothership confection, as I like to call it. So obviously it's made in the exact style of a luxury chocolate box with beautiful foil blocking all along the sides. We've got some of the lyrics that are relevant: chocolate coated freaky and habit forming, 500,000 kilowatts of P-Funk power.
The coolest
coming
stuff
to you
though
directly
is
from the mothership.
You've got to look at the inside. Check this out. This is where things get really funky, shall we say.
On the inside, we obviously have the sleeve notes, which are the fold-out sleeve notes of the poster, with George with the House
a bit of a replica of what you can see behind. Yeah,
okay.
We think ahead for these things.
Okay.
Obviously, then we get to the meat of it. So 180
my
grams.
Two favorite. I'll get this one
Of milk chocolate vinyl. So this is milk chocolate vinyl, and just to be clear, this is produced with a splatter, so it means every single one is unique. You can't replicate it.
Okay, right.
So every single one.
And
so
even better for those who don't like milk chocolate, you got yourself some white chocolate as well. Yeah. This is the one.
And then obviously, to complete the box set, we have the DVD. And then 2 CDs of the album that of what was the event at Metropolis Studios. Again, all replicated in the chocolate. Absolutely everything, all in a chocolate box. What do you think?
Exquisite.
Yeah. You approve?
I approve.
Well, I'm very glad we could do the.
You can almost eat it.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm very glad we could do the unveiling here. I want to talk a bit more about the concept behind it, but I want to talk about Chocolate City, London, because of course just recently you did a performance, and I think we've got a trailer we can have a look at that. This is Chocolate City, London. performance there. You still got it. You haven't lost it. That's
oh no, we just getting started. We're just getting started. You know.
I want to Chocolate City. So for those who don't know, what is Chocolate City, or rather, what are chocolate cities?
Well, you know, back when we did this in early 75, right? Washington D.C. was 80% black.
Yeah.
And they said, we got a chocolate city here. You know, it won't be long before it be paint the White House black.
Yeah, I like that because you said, what is it? They still call it the White House, but that's a temporary
condition too.
Yeah.
That was the beginning of it. The thought, and you know, and at the same time, One Nation was always on our mind. So we said Chocolate City and the vanilla suburbs.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's still One Nation.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, but we perceived it coming back then.
There's a lot of chocolate cities out there.
Yeah, but I also like the fact that you kind of created, I mean, obviously, we talked today, we've got Barack Obama in the White House now, but at the time, you kind of created a fictional government. And now, I've got some favorites. Do you remember some of them?
Ali, Richard Pryor, Aretha Franklin, Stevie Wonder.
Aretha Franklin was the first lady. Richard Pryor was the Minister of Education. Absolutely amazing.
Stevie Wonder, Minister of Education.
P-funk up your government. That's what it's about.
Yeah,
you know.
that's the new one.
It's very fitting because we have our elections coming up here in the UK as well.
So y'all got to P-funk the government up.
Absolutely, yeah. Ain't no party like a P-funk.
We need to find a declaration for that and get that out there for sure. Hopefully we can have that on the program. Another thing I want to talk about, you know, you've lived an incredible life. The journey's had ups and downs and lots of what Maya Angelou would have called a fast life. So I want to talk to you about the sort of the drugs and rock and roll side of things and wonder how things like LSD informed, I guess, your creativity.
Well, you know, in order probably to see all the things that we were seeing, you had to come through that era of, you know, 1967, 89, when acid just opened up everything. And, well, after 69, 70, basically it was over, but we didn't know it. We kept chasing it, looking for it again for another 30 years. But we're cool now, and everything is cool. But it had a lot to do with probably the vision, the colors, and I'm colorblind, so it definitely had a lot to do with mine, because I don't know what I'm looking at. I hear nothing. You know, it's just all you know how people say, do you feel me?
Yeah.
Well, that's what we was feeling.
Yeah.
We was feeling that, and that's what we projected. And it had a lot to do with all of the directions we went, from the mothers of underwater with Motor Booty, a Chocolate City, Pimps in Outer Space. All of that was probably brought on by the fun we was having back then.
Absolutely.
And we got it. Yeah. We got it from basically from the kids coming from over here to the States. We call it the English invasion.
Yeah.
With the rock and roll, you know, and that whole image of hippies and everything. Even though we had it in San Francisco, it didn't hit like it hit when Cream popped up, Jimi Hendrix, Beatles, and that was a whole nother. And I had already heard that music all my life. My mother played rock and roll and blues, but I started off wanting to be Frankie Lyman. You know, but as it got to that 70s, we found our own, you know, with the Bootsy showing up, bringing Fred Wesley and Maceo Parker.
Yeah. I want to talk a little bit, like in this journey. You know, recently you've, you know, rumored to have worked with people like Kendrick Lamar. Is that right?
That's the new one out right now.
Yeah.
He's the funk right now. He's got a funky album out, and I was telling people that when I was here 6 months ago. Listen for this kid. Yeah. He lived up to everything I thought he was going to do and more.
But you've worked with so many people in the past as well, though.
Tupac. Yeah. You know, they was like our kids. Snoop, Dre, Public Enemy, Rakim, all of, you know, they like funk. Funk is the DNA for hip-hop.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, so we had a chance to work with pretty much every, last couple of years, Big Boy and Outkast. That was like, so Kendrick is the newest version of all of them, but he's gonna set the place on fire.
Well, I'd like to say we salute you, George Clinton. You are absolutely amazing. I'm very honoured to have you here. And John, well done on the designs.
Thank you.
Of course, I'm assuming this is out now. It's going to be released in time for Record Store Day.
Yeah,
right?
This Saturday.